I'm out on the Giant today. I had a double puncture on the trek last week, or during the week. And whilst you might be thinking, well, surely it's easy enough to fix a puncture, you are right. And one of the tyres was quite badly worn. So I decided it was time to get new tyres, and they haven't arrived yet. So we've established that car drivers, or a lot of them, hate us. Nothing we can do about it, or is there? And the fact is, there are lots of different types of cyclists. Interestingly, the ones that they dislike the most, I believe, are the ones that are the least inconvenient to them. And that's the leisure cyclist. You hear it all the time, yeah, but it's the ones in Lycra. You see, there are people who use bicycles for transport. And there are people who ride bikes for fitness. And then there are others who just ride bikes because they enjoy riding bikes. And we're being told of an obesity crisis. And we've been told we need more exercise. And we need to use less fossil fuel. And the average motorist is quite happy with that, as long as it doesn't affect him or her. And the other problem is, the pedestrians hate us as well. But watching some of the videos that people put up to show why they dislike cyclists, and they'll show them scooting across red lights and cutting in and out between pedestrians and cars. But the thing is, those are commuters. They're people who are under the same pressure as the car driver. They're on their way to work and they need to get there. And yet we, the leisure cyclists, bear the brunt of it. But there was something a friend of mine pointed out this week. See, I was going down a road and there were one-way traffic lights. And the tailback was about 1.5 miles. And I went round the queue, which is perfectly legal. It's called filtering. Nothing wrong at all. And 2 car drivers tried to block me. And I couldn't really understand why. Because it'll make absolutely no difference to their day. None whatsoever. And I did think to myself, why? Why are these people so angry? Because it won't affect them in any way at all. I'll be at the front of the queue, around the corner and gone. And my friend pointed out, he said, the problem is, you jump in the queue. He said, it's a very British thing, queuing. And we don't like queue jumpers. Ask Phil Schofield and Holly Willoughby. And whilst it's perfectly legal, car drivers see you and go, he's a queue jumper. We don't like that. We don't like that at all. Now, I'm not going to sit behind a mile and a half of traffic. I'm going to go round them, as we all would. But at least I understand why they're annoyed with me. And not only that, when I come to a set of traffic lights and there's 4 cars in front of me, I've just decided I'll stay in the line with them rather than go to the front, because why bother antagonising them? And that's really what I'm talking about today. What can we do as cyclists to try and keep other road users on side? The 2 biggest things we can do is stay polite as much as possible and stop getting aggressive. When a car driver does something we know they shouldn't, point it out by all means, but cut out the shouting and swearing and the fist waving. I'm not saying for a moment that you should back away, cower away. But just take the heat out of the situation and acknowledge people when they do the right thing. Like then, car's been sitting behind me. It's a double white line. He shouldn't be overtaking me anyway. And he sat there patiently. So give him a little wave. And then all of a sudden the annoyance is gone. And he feels good about doing the right thing. And the other thing we need to do is try and educate people. Friends and family who are not cyclists. Point out why we sometimes use the road, not the cycle path. Let them know how scary it is when a car close passes. See, the thing is, there's no need not to be polite. And the car drivers who complain when we jump the queue on our cycles, when they're on a motorway, 2 lanes go into one, you can guarantee they'll be down the outside trying to squeeze in. Because as I've said before, we live in the age of self. The rules apply to everyone else and not me. And the rules should be strictly enforced on other people, but not me. And there's always the excuse, oh yes, but normally I would do the right thing, but I was late for work. There's a video doing the rounds of a child cycling to school with a parent cycling behind. There's always a lot of dog walkers out when you ride on a Saturday. So in this video, car coming the other way barges his way through very close to the cyclist, and there's a lot of hate-filled comments. One comment that made me laugh said the parent should be arrested for breaking 5 different laws, although when challenged they couldn't name even one law. Morning, thank you. You see, all these people got just as much right to be here as me. If you're going to ride the paths on a Saturday, it's going to be slow going. There's no point in trying to race past and annoy people. Go back to the video. It doesn't help for cyclists to make comments calling the car driver names. And when a car driver believes that a cyclist at 5 years old is breaking the law, they genuinely believe they're in the right. So my opinion is let's try and end the culture war. And let's educate, not chastise.